What is up? Hello, hello. Oh, what is happening? Oh my goodness. Hold on. There we go. I'm not sure what that was about. Can you guys hear music right now, by the way? Because I can't hear that, and that's not normal. Normally I can hear what's going from the PC into my computer, but I can't hear it right now. So hopefully the music sounds good. I have no idea what it sounds like. I just started playing. Welcome everybody. It's probably a change of scenery, and my camera is gonna have a hard time focusing on my face. Hold on. So that must have been why people were complaining it was blurry. Because if my camera is in my face, then it will change the whatchamacallit. I can hear it. Yes. What up? Love a good SVP story time. Agreed. Let's go. What's up? You think SVP would be in the chat? I am. What's up? Yes, sir. Hey, guess what? Whatever, the new layout just dropped. Or at least there's pictures of it, so I'm not sure we'll actually be able to look at it. But let me just see real quick why I am not getting music over properties. No, you don't hear that. You don't hear that either. You hear that? I don't know. Sound settings. Sorry, we won't take much longer. Huh. Oh, well, that would be why. There you go. We found it. We figured it out. Okay. Welcome. If you guys are tuning in on the YouTube channel, watching this past the live broadcast, be sure to hit the like button, click subscribe. Helps me out a lot. If this is like the third video, you should subscribe. There's no reason not to. I think I still have like 80% of people who watch my content not subscribed, which is kind of insane. So please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to those who have subscribed recently. Samuel Capero. Thank you for the sub, and there's lots of others. Thank you guys so much. And Matt the Gym Rat, thank you for your 3-month membership renewal. If you guys have been long-time subscribers, consider becoming a member. It's like $3. It helps me out a lot. We got some things to talk about. I'm not sure how many of you guys have heard about the ICC and what happened or anything related to it, but we're going to get into it. We're going to be, as I want to preface, this isn't going to be a drama stream. We're not going to try and stir anything up. We're just going to try and tell it like it is, okay? So don't get any funny ideas about me stirring up drama. First of all, let's post in the chat. Stream is live. I'm going to get a better full screen scene. Oh my gosh. Scene for us to work with in the future. For now, this will have to do. So, 1 second. I can't stand that music. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. If I'm trying to get the camera to focus on me, doing the best I can. So, by the way, if you guys are watching it live right now, be sure to hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. It helps a lot. Everybody I've got 12 viewers right now, please hit the like button. There's only 3 people who've liked the video so far. If you do that, it'll not Jeff Bezos, whatever her name is, the CEO of the company will actually send me like a private jet. Let's go, baby. First ever live event, finally able to make it. What's up? Drop some thumbs up. It was rough. Start the drama. The clips I saw seems like it was a crazy event. Yes, it was. I'll actually get some, while you mentioned that, I'll get some YouTube, or whatever. We have some footage of the event that we recorded. I don't have much. I have a few pictures too, but we won't really, that's not going to really help us too much. So anyway, okay, let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about the ICC for the first part of today's stream. The second part of today's stream, we'll talk about the CPXL layout. I want to spend some time looking at the Sunshine State, or oh my gosh, Golden State Major layout. So this is the scene, by the way, that we're going to be utilizing. So get comfortable, get some water, get your water, get your coffee, whatever he says. We're going to relax and chill. Okay. You guys ready? It's kind of not the music for it, but I can't listen to DMCA music on YouTube, so you'll have to forgive me. It's going to naturally chill me out. Okay, so here's what happened. Okay. Hydrate. While we wait, we hydrate. Is there going to be a persecution stream for NXL? Absolutely. I don't know. Okay, guys, 12 viewers, 6 likes. Help me out here. Okay. So this time around, this ICC was hosted in New York, which is different than it's been hosted in the past, especially with Tim Montressor. It was hosted in Pennsylvania normally, from my understanding. Now the bros have been to ICC before, so we had a great time. I wasn't a part of the organization when we did attend ICC in the past, but Brandon, Christian, and Sage and a lot of other members of the squad had been to that event. An absolute blast. Like, played Houston Heat or members of Houston Heat and a lot of other teams like Ryan Greenspan from Dynasty and so on and so forth. And they just had an absolute blast. So we were really looking forward to the next ICC that we could attend. But as you guys know, ICC typically sells out like right away. So I do have to backtrack just a little bit. Oh, prediction, not persecution. Okay. I do have to backtrack just a little bit to explain how we even got to ICC. Okay. So during the 2021 season, we were reached out to by Jennifer Montressor about a player that she really believed in and thought was really good, and was wondering if we had a slot available for him to come play. So it was around the time, this was World Cup 2021, the final event of the year for us. And we were missing players because people had dropped last minute. So we needed some players. And granted, or mind you, we were playing semi-pro. So we were pretty desperate at this point, and we didn't have a lot of interest because most people at that point were with their squads. They were playing the final event with the teams that they'd been playing with for at least like 3 months. And so it was pretty slim pickings. But we eventually, like I said, got reached out to by Jennifer Montressor. And she asked us if we could pick up this player. And we're like, I mean, I guess we don't really have much of a choice. So certainly, let's give him a shot. So he shows up to the event. We kind of ask him some questions about his experience. He has D4 experience, which, as you guys know, fits right in with us. So he gets on the squad. But she says that if you pick him up, I'll guarantee you a spot for ICC. And I feel like I can say this now because ICC was a disaster. Okay. And I love Jennifer. From what little interactions I have no issues with her. I don't have issues with the ICC organization, obviously, and I hope they have a better next year, but we're definitely going to get into what was wrong with this time around. So anyway, she guarantees us a spot, and we were like, awesome. Like, ICC sells out instantly. Like, we're so glad that we got our spot. And the guy that ended up playing with us was awesome. Super nice dude. Absorbed a lot. Improved over the course of the event. But it was definitely like a one and done kind of situation. So anyway, fast forward to like literally 2 weeks ago, or even like a week prior. And there starts to pop up footage of people playing on the layout or at this field. And we kind of got a little suspicious because obviously, you know, when you go to play at a tournament, you're under the assumption that nobody has, especially with Woods Ball. Well, actually, I should say to an extent that most people have not had the chance to play the layout well before the tournament starts. And just given the nature of Woods Ball, it's a bit unfair that teams would have the ability to play on the layout, you know, weeks prior or several weeks prior, if not even months prior, right? So our assumption was, at least as far as the Hyperball field is concerned, and maybe even to an extent the Mounds field, those would be kind of new for everybody. Obviously, like the Woods Ball field is probably a bit hard to like change, so that's fine, whatever. But we start to see videos pop up of like teams playing, and It's like, okay, that's a little weird. So we message her. I don't remember what she says, but she gives us some kind of response that's like, yeah, I know, it's fine. Like, you know, these, I don't even know if she said that they're going to change the layout. I don't even remember what this response was. Plant new trees. It's like these little twigs and stuff. So anyway, that's fine, but there's teams that are starting to post. Okay. And from the footage, it looked like, oh, these people are in the tournament. They don't look very good. So that's fine. And whatever, so on and so forth. So a week passes and we're like, so I guess this is like 3 weeks ago. And we're like, there's only like 14 teams signed up for this event. Like, this event sells out instantly. Like, what's happening? So anyway, there starts to float around this rumor, which I'm not going to substantiate by, you know, further playing into it. All I'll say is there was a division where it sounded like there was a split in organization between Jennifer and what she was wanting to do with the event versus the other people that were helping prior to Tim's passing. I don't know anything else besides that. Obviously, the event being in New York was a bit of a change for people. And I know that there's like a lot of times people expect a cost with this event that was probably changed because of the fact that the venue was moved. I don't know if people knew about the venue prior to that, but it was certainly interesting that most teams opted to play for the classic, like Pennsylvania, whatever the classics that's happening in like a few weeks in Pennsylvania, which is being run by the other half of what the original organization, versus you know, essentially no pro teams, and only at the end of the day 17 teams that signed up for this ICC event. There was clearly a division there, clearly a separation. I don't know why. That's all I know. So anyway, you know, days before the event, before we fly, we're like, okay, I guess we're playing 17 teams in total at this event, which is a pretty big letdown because obviously ICC is a legendary event. It's more than anything just a really fun event to go to, and we don't even have enough teams to really support that. It's not very great. So anyway, we fly over there, get to the venue, and at least where our Airbnb was, which was only like 20 minutes, 15 minutes away from the venue. The venue is like in the middle of nowhere, man. It takes forever to get to it. It's 2 hours away from an airport, which I can't compare to the other ICC event. I actually don't. So for those of you who do know, you could look it up and tell me how far it is for the other event. But I mean, 2 hours away from a New York/New Jersey airport is not ideal. That's not, I mean, Pennsylvania is expensive, but New York is certainly just as expensive, if not more so. Plus the fact that, you know, renting cars at this time of year, or just in the last 2 years, has been a nightmare. So anyway, get to the actual event and it's fine, or actually I should back up. Al and his boys got to the event before I did and before most of the squad did. And so as they're starting to walk the event, they're kind of like, this isn't big enough. Like the layout, the fields, none of it is big enough to fit 10 people on either side, with the exception of the Woods Ball event. But even beyond that, the Woods Ball itself and the mounds are horribly disadvantaged, or horribly advantaged, or lopsided, I should say. So that one side of the field is literally playing on a hill overlooking the other, which was true for that, and which was true for the mounds field, which I'm kind of doing the mounds field a disservice and calling it mounds. It was an anthill. Even the refs that were there were calling it an anthill. And I'll show you the videos. I'll show you pictures. It was embarrassing, to say the least. And again, if anybody's played mounds before, even if you've gone to like NXL World Cup and you've seen their mounds fields, they not only pile, mounds. They not only pile like dirt to make tall mounds, but they also sometimes dig trenches. And so let me show you. I'm going to try to mute the audio real quick so that you don't hear the complaints. 1 second. I got to find it and then I'll switch. We had a lot of Saving Private Ryan memes that we shared over the course of the tournament, so I go past those real quick. Oh, you know what? This is probably all the games that we played. So that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for ICC. Like I said, I'm going to mute the audio so you guys don't hear what we say specifically, because I don't want anybody to feel like I'm exposing their commentary and or slander. So here's just a picture. Here's just a glimpse of what this looks like. This is essentially from one start box to the other. And it doesn't really capture, like, obviously with footage and pictures and stuff, you don't really get a sense of this, of like the slope that you see here, but there will be other videos that we'll look at where you'll see that in a little clearer detail. Those are the mounds. Look at them mounds. Look at those. Are you kidding me? That's a joke. So not only did we pay a bunch of money to fly out here, which I'm not saying is anybody's fault, but it's also the fact that we were, you know, kind of sold on the idea that we would be reserved a slot to this very exclusive, very prestigious, you know, tournament, which all of us were expecting would be the case. I think we were all kind of surprised it was going to be in New York. And again, for whatever reason, but like, this is a joke. Like, could you not have imported more dirt at the very least to make these a bit taller? Because at this point, these people, it was funny to watch, dude. The first game that we watched, people were literally getting rained down on, and there was nowhere you could go if you were on the back line. And the closer you got, in some cases, the worse it got. So like the side that we're filming from had the worst side. It was like, I'm pretty sure that there was only maybe 2 teams in all of the games that were played, which there were a lot of games played, but I'm pretty sure only 2 teams won on the lower side on this Mounds field. And there was only 3 teams that won on the lower side on the Woods Ball field. Like, are you kidding me? How is there supposed to be any competitive integrity when this is what it looks like? Anyway, so it's bad. It's really bad. And when we showed up, hey, the one goalie, what's up, man? How are you? When we showed up, it was like, are you kidding me? This is the field? And the layout isn't like terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. You know, they've got like a snake that's kind of fun and whatever, but it's all so short. I mean, when you stand to these mounds, these are a little bit higher than your hips. That's how small these are. It's really bad. Coach is just talking about the distance and stuff. So I'm not sure you'll really be able to get it. I don't want to like air our conversations. 1 second. I'm not sure you'll be able to get an idea from the videos of the Woods Ball. Let's see if we can. It's a bit Blair Witch Project-y. So, okay. I mean, let me say this. I understand that in a Woods Ball event, there are going to be advantages and disadvantages to one side or the other. And that's totally acceptable. You play around them. It's kind of refreshing. It's fun, right? But when there's like essentially an attacking and defending side inadvertently because of the height advantage, it is not fun, right? It's kind of hard to tell, but like the fact that he is looking, so just to give you an idea, the video is being filmed at horizon level. So like this is essentially a straight shot that the center point of his camera is aiming right here, and that everything above that is essentially above the horizon that he's standing on. So like this is just a steep incline. And you know, we had kind of been, and the other thing was that we had been told, it was rumored, I'm not going to say who told us this, but we were told by a trusted source that the lower side was actually the better side, that it was the more aggressive side. It was the side that you could push more on, and that, you know, weeks prior or typically on the field, people win from the lower side. Well, we played our first game on the lower side. We lost. And it was very obvious even before that that every single team was winning on the high side. Literally up, I think in the entire Woods Ball event, 98%, I think we did the math, 98% of the games that were played were won on the high side, which is obviously just like basic strategy, right? Like we all get this. When you watch war movies, Christian not wearing a shirt. When you watch war movies, you get it, right? That's exactly what it was. And like I said, I think 3 teams out of the entire tournament, or 3 matches, were won on the lower side in the entire event. And there was probably, each team played this field 4 times, excuse me, and there was 18 teams by the end of it. So it was just bad. It was super bad. So essentially, if you lost the coin toss and you got put on the lower side, you were probably going to lose. Here's some more footage. This is just footage of scouting, I believe. This isn't us, because we never got the high side on mounds ever. Not once did we get the high side. So anyway, the Woods Ball field was fun, but it was a joke. I want to talk before I like move on to the Hyperball field or anything with the rest of the event. The only thing I also want to say is the reffing. Like I understand, I've reffed several tournaments before in my time. I understand that reffing is a thankless job, but these refs were bad. These refs were awful at their jobs. They just didn't want to get shot, so they weren't willing to go into the center to find people's hits. And I understand, like, they're probably not getting paid enough to do that. I totally get it. But it's also the fact that, like, people are not going to come back to your tournament if you do not ref it in an aggressive way, because what reason do people have to come back? And so what ended up happening was, give up Anakin, I have the high ground. I felt bad. They were just unprepared. No, and that's the thing. Could you imagine if they had as many people, as many teams sign up for this event as they did years prior? Like, it would have been a disaster. It took them from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night to run 18 teams and running 4 matches on the Woods Ball field. Or, excuse me, 4 matches on the Woods Ball field and 2 matches on the Mounds field. It took them that long. It took them like 7 to 8 hours to run that many games. They ran after every point, they would call a dead field. They'd take off their masks, they'd take a little bit of a break, they'd talk about, you know, the point, they'd calculate the points, whatever, and then they would, you know, the teams would kind of mosey on, they would take their time, and it was like literally between every point we were taking at minimum 5 minutes. In some cases we took 10 minutes between each point to be played. And then they would play, like, they played, I think, for 2 hours or something, and then they took a 20-minute break. And it's like, guys, you have to run these points back to back if you want to get this done. There's literally no excuse for this. So there was not only that issue, but then they said a 20-minute lunch break. It was almost 2 hours, it felt like. I mean, maybe it wasn't, maybe I'm exaggerating there, but it was a long time. It was well over an hour that we took for lunch. By the time they announced it to when they moseyed away from the tables to get teams onto the field and to start that point, it was almost 2 hours to my understanding. So you underestimate the ref not coming to check. You underestimate the ref not coming to check me. So it was just absurdly slow. It was painfully slow. And not only that, but there was apparently a mix-up. So in our bracket, we were supposed to play, well, every team was supposed to play 4 Woods Ball, 2 Mounds, and 2 Hyperball. That was the prelims, okay? Well, when we showed up on the PBL, it said that there was a team that we were supposed to play at like 9 o'clock, and they had 1 player on their roster. I was like, what the heck? So we weren't sure what time we were supposed to show up to the field, if that team had finished registering, if they were going to have a squad that showed up or what. So we showed up, we rolled up to the field thinking, well, we heard that we aren't going to play that team because they didn't even show up. Well, we show up to the field at like 8:40 and we're told, hey, you guys have a game at 9, like you guys need to get ready. And so then we're panicking. So we're starting to get paint, get all of our gear on, all this stuff. And they said, we're going to wait for you. Well, by the time we got our gear and over to the field, we had gotten there at like 9:10, which was pretty fast. And then it turns out the team didn't even show up because the guy didn't hit the enter button on like PBL registration or something, is what I was hearing. So anyway, it was just a nightmare. So we didn't end up playing, and our first game wasn't until like 11 o'clock. It took forever. And by the time, I think afternoon, they were 50 minutes behind. And then by like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock ish, they were like an hour and a half behind. And that was true for the second day as well. It was ridiculous. So anyway, I think anybody who's played in the woods especially in a tournament, knows that there is going to be some level of cheating that happens, right? Whether you do it or not, that's fine. I'm generally an advocate for not. I don't cheat at real tournaments. And I call those. I'm very particular about those phrases. I do not cheat at NXLs because, especially when you play in semi-pro, those refs are on your ass. Like, you can get penalties super fast by cheating. If you get a hit that's like really easy to cover up, whatever, I'm not going to judge you for it. But our policy at Bro Army, as you guys know, is we do not cheat. We do not tolerate cheating. If we find out that you're cheating intentionally, it brings a bad rep to our organization. Therefore, we kick you. So we have a very stern policy on that when it comes to NXLs and WCPPLs and stuff like that. When it came to this event, we all kind of understood that like people are going to be cheating. There's going to be people on the sidelines that are doing like crazy hand signals and gestures. Everybody who's played Woods Ball knows this. So we went in there with the understanding that people were going to cheat to an extent. And so, you know, like hand hits that they might, you know, bury into the ground as you're running on your legs, whatever. It's the typical stuff. But in the woods, it was not too bad. It was kind of bad. It wasn't too bad. People were like, you could tell that you were getting, you know, you were shooting people, but they weren't going out. And there was even one point, our very first game, Christian got pulled out on spray. And obviously you guys might say like, oh, well, it's spray, like it would have been hard. There was a ref literally standing there watching him the entire time, and the ref came over and pulled him, and Christian's like, where am I hit? And the ref's like, well, I saw a lot of spray, so I pulled you. And it was like, what? You're kidding, right? Like, you're joking. That was our very first point. So he pulled Christian pretty much within the first 30, well, I think it was like within the first minute of the point, because he was just getting sprayed in his bunker. So not only were the refs not urgent at all, yay, paintball, what's up, Brandon? Not only were the refs not urgent in the slightest to, sorry, some of this footage isn't really like anything you can see. I just want to show points real quick. So yeah, not only was there no urgency from the refs to come and check players, but there were like on the hyperball field as well, there was no ref that ever jumped on the other side of this. Literally no ref ever jumped on the other side of these beams for the snake to check on the inside angle or even get into the inside part of where these snake players were. So pretty much if you were in the snake and you got shot on the inside of that bunker, that hit was gone. And when I'm talking like that hit was gone, I'm talking face hits, loader hits, gun hits, anywhere on your shoulders, pod pack hits even. It was embarrassing. Like, so where we're filming, everybody was sitting, everybody's watching the hyperball field from this perspective. And because we didn't play points on the Mounds field while playing points on another field, everybody was here, everybody was watching these points, and the crowd was going crazy. They're like, guys, are you serious? Like, people are wiping face hits, people are staying in with like hits on their shoulders, not even wiping it, and you guys aren't pulling them out. And so like they literally just sit here and they're just standing there. It's like, he's not hit, I can't see him, I'm not, and they would never go to look on the inside to check ever. And so this is true for the hyperball field. But to go back to the other, with the Mounds field, there were so many times where people are on the side. Let me pull this up really quick and get a different hyperball video, because it was bad. It was so bad. But there were points where, so like this is, so you can see we're at the sideline right now, and there were people who would be playing right here. They would be getting rained down on and literally get hit on like the loader and then just like cover it. And there's refs around them. There's a ref here at the baseline, and there was a ref like on the sideline right here. Nobody saw it, nobody looked. And the thing that was frustrating is that refs weren't looking everywhere to find people and to find hits. They were just looking at one person, that he'd watch them as they shoot. And if they suspected, that's the thing, if they suspected that you were going to get hit, they would just sit there and they would just watch you. And so if somebody else got hit, boom, it was gone. This is me in the corner, by the way. I don't think we got the breakout in this video. Oh, maybe we did. No, this is towards the end of the point. So this cheating started to get to be a problem. I mean, it may have been a problem in the woods, I'm not sure. But okay, so just to tell you really quick, in the woods, we lost our first game. Then we played on the high side and we won that game. And then we stalemated the third game, which that third game felt like, okay, we definitely shot some people that should have gone out. But the primary reason that we didn't win that game was because Dylan, who was in a very important spot on the field, his gun went down right as he got to his bunker. Literally didn't shoot a single ball that entire game, and he was in a chokehold, or he was in like a very key position on the field where he needed to be able to push with my support, and he wasn't able to. So anyway, so that game stalemated, but it was also kind of like, I'm pretty sure we shot a lot of people that should have gone out and they just didn't. But anyway, whatever the case was, we then were supposed to play a fourth match, but that team was the team that didn't ever finish signing up for PB League. So it's like, okay, whatever. I guess we're just playing 3. So then we get an autumn. I don't even know if we got a buy for that. I'm pretty sure I don't know. I have to imagine that we did. But anyway, so then when you get to the mounds field, and now you start to see it in plain sight, and the rest just like don't see it at all. And they're not even like, they don't even have the intuition to like go and check somebody. They only run over to somebody to check if they made a move. That's the only time that they'll ever check. But they'll sit right next to you and stare at you as you're shooting. It was embarrassing. So anyway, when we started to see that it was happening on the mounds field and like in front of everybody, it was kind of like, okay, this is getting bad. And so now, yeah, Christian was pretty upset. I needed to get over to this corner, but I was getting shot by some guy in the cross, and I had to fight him, and I just didn't. This was our first game on the mounds, I believe. Maybe it's the second. This is our second game on the mounds. But anyway, so we play the one game on the mounds. The height advantage, you can kind of see it now. Like you can, because like the camera is at the lower part of this field. You see how this is low, right? Just kind of imagine where his feet are. And then when you pan over, look at that. Look at how high that is. That is like, look at where he is in relation to where this corner bunker is. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. So anyway, and again, these are literal anthills. There's no way. By the way, 20 viewers, excuse me, in the stream right now. Please hit the like button. It does help me out a lot. If you're watching right now, hit the like button. Anyway, so we lose up that first game, and I think we were all kind of like, this is just like not great. This isn't like the mounds field could have been fun. It's just not very fun because of how like I'm getting rained on from people that are just at higher positions than me. And so I'm trying to like stay low, whatever. And then I was also having a few gun issues with this event, which is pretty sad. But anyway, people were just playing on, and generally speaking, you know, when somebody comes and runs you down in Woodsball, if that guy gets hit within like 5 steps of you, you guys are trading. It's just how it is. There's no way around it. But like, people were getting run down where they were shot and like took 10 steps. It was like a long time, and the refs would call hit. That was what was more frustrating, is the refs would call hit as they were 10 steps away, and then they would keep running those 10 steps, shoot the guy, and they would call it a trade. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Even well before that, you said the guy was hit. Like, keep me in, right? This is me right here. I ran out of paint this point because when I took a dive out of this bunker, I lost a whole pod. No, the event wasn't streamed. No refs watched the center 50 at all. So much cheating in the center. Yeah, dude, the center was a cheater fest, dude. It was insane. This event wasn't streamed, correct? No. Wasn't it covered by Ghost Sports last year? It was, yeah. It was not covered by Ghost Sports this year. Plus, you can play the dead box on the mounds field. I forgot about that. So, the refs told us that we could play the start box, behind the start box on this field. So, when we first saw that, we were like, what is he doing? Like, that guy can't be there. Sure enough. The ref was fine. The refs were like, yeah, you can play behind there. It's like, what? What is that? See, I would just skip the rest of this. I know I shot that guy. It's fine. It might not have bounced, but I know I shot the guy. But then I get... This point took a while. It's also funny, on the hyperball field, they said the points were 10 minutes long. We all had clocks on us. I set my clock for 11 minutes, and the game ended at 10 minutes on the clock on the hyperball field. So it's like, wait, you guys said the games were 12 minutes, but now they're 10? Like, what? Is nobody keeping track of time? Like, so this right here. So this was the move that was pretty egregious, from my understanding. So Wallace, I think, said he shot him right here. I don't know. People were telling me that he got shot well before this. May not have been. I shot the crap out of that guy though, for sure, as he was running by. But anyway, so the Mounds Field was a joke, but we finished the day. Like I said, lost the first one, won the second, tied the third, and then lost the fourth. And then I think they must have given us a bye for that other game we were supposed to play, because we were supposed to play 6 games. So we show up on Sunday, and Sunday was the second Mounds game to be played, and then the 2 Hyperball Field games, and then all of the semifinals and finals. And so we show up to the field, and we play. Actually, Brandon, did we play 2 Mounds games? We did. Okay, so we lost both of our games on the Mounds Field. That's right. And so we're like, okay, well, that's not great, but we don't really play Mounds, and it's hardly Mounds Field, right? So then we get to the Hyperball Field, which we were all feeling was going to be the best field for us because of, for obvious reasons, we're speedballers. And so we get to the Mounds Field, or excuse me, the Hyperball Field, and we play that first point, and sure enough... Oh, that's right, I forgot. The other controversy. So we were supposed to play Ottoman Aces. And what happened was, on one of the Woods Ball games, they grabbed the flag and hung the flag, but they walked off the field before they were counted alive. Like, all the refs called the game over. They knew that Ottoman Aces had hung the flag, but they walked off the field. And the refs and the owners of the people that were running the tournament called the player out and didn't count their flag hang. Why? I don't have any idea. And so, for obvious reasons, they were pissed and they left right after that. That was probably their second game, maybe their third in the tournament. And so they left. Ottoman Aces left. And so we were supposed to play them on the Hyperball Field, but we didn't. So we got another bye, I'm pretty sure. Maybe just the one, but I'm not sure. So we got a bye on one of the Hyperball Fields. And so then we play our other Hyperball game, and sure enough, we win that one. Right? Why am I feeling like that wasn't true? I was wondering what happened with them. They left after they played us. Yeah, it was so like, he was frustrated because I remember hearing him talk about it just in passing, and he was pissed for obvious reasons. It's also a small tournament. It's like 17, 18 teams. Let the guy have the points. Like, there's no reason to be so hard stuck on, oh, well, you walked out of bounds, like, you don't get the points. That's so dumb. So anyway, we, through points, make it in to Sunday. Or to like the semifinals, which apparently were semifinals. But what they decided to do, so from my understanding, typical 10-mans and a lot of tournaments are that you play round robin to then go into a single elimination tournament, where in this case it would be a best of 1. Like, whoever wins, right? And then you move on to the next round. Well, they decided to do another round robin tournament, essentially starting from 0. So we had 2 brackets of 4 teams, and those 2 teams would play each other, 2 teams would play each other in that one bracket, and then the winner of those 2 would go on to the finals, and then same would be for the others. And it's like, guys, how many games are we going to be playing? Like, not only did the prelims not end until like 1 o'clock, but it was like, well, if yesterday was any indication of how quickly you're going to run these games, we're going to be here all day. And so, I mean, sure, I appreciate you're trying to get us to play more points, but like, I want to be done with this. This is a nightmare. And so then we get to the Hyperball Field, which again is like, proves to be the worst. Like, it was a fun field to play. I actually really liked the Hyperball Field. It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to be in terms of size. It looked really small in person, and I'm pretty sure it was still smaller than normal, like 10-man Hyperball Fields, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought. But just the fact that, like, the middle, like Brandon said earlier in the stream, the middle was an absolute nightmare. There were so many points that we would lace the guy up the middle. There was one point in particular, because Sage and I played on the opposite side over here. We called it the Dorito side. There was one point where Sage and I run out to our bunkers, and all of us, almost all 10 of us, are running with our guns up, because it's 10-man, right? And most people were running with their guns down. So we not only run out to our bunkers, but we actually both stop in the open to shoot the guy that's crawling on our side of the 50 and gets absolutely torched. Both he and I lace the guy up. I mean, I probably shot him at least 3 times. Sage probably shot him 3 times or more, 6 times, 7 times, maybe 8 times in total this guy got shot. and he crawls. I mean, like, we're talking, he dives, is on his hands and knees in the middle of the open of this field. I'll show you right here. He was in the middle right here, nowhere close to the 50, and off to the side of it, and we're torching him. And maybe even we shot him more than that. He gets the 50, and he is alive. He is alive. No ref went to check him. We're screaming, refs, go check. Because what we found, people found this out pretty early in the tournament, but we found that if you scream, go check him, I shot him wherever, or ref, check that guy, refs will go check him. So we learned in Woodsball that if you scream at the refs to go check somebody, they'll generally go check him, which is not great. You shouldn't need to say that for refs to go check people. So not only was that bad, because it reinforces a bad habit for players to then insist that refs go check the people that they think they shot. So at the end of the tournament, literally both teams, whether you hit somebody or not, were just screaming, go check that guy, go check that. I can't tell you how many times I shot at somebody and I didn't think I hit him, but I was screaming, go check that guy on his loader. Because I knew the ref was going to then turn away and he was going to radio or turn away and go do something. And that happened every single time. Every time I screamed, go check that guy, refs stopped what they were doing, went to go look at the guy. But the middle was terrible because when I tell you literally no ref, I think maybe the first few points on the hyperball field, refs would go to the middle. After that, literally no refs went to the middle. Not a single one. Nobody went to the middle. There were refs that would just like stand in the middle in some cases. Like, so for example, there was refs that would kind of push away from the sidelines and they'd be literally standing in between me and some guy I'm gun battling with. And there was one point in the semifinals where I had to turn to the ref and I was like, hey, tell your guy to move. Like, I'm literally shooting at a guy right now and he's standing in the middle of it and I don't want to like torch him. And so it was just like, it was unbelievable. But when you add the fact that people knew other people were cheating, and blatantly so, because we were seeing it on the sidelines and they were getting away with it, which was more important, but that even when they caught you on hits that had been there for a while, they weren't throwing penalties, and the fact that we know that we can manipulate the refs by saying go check that guy if we just shout it loud enough, and that they will in fact go check that, it was a disaster. Like, people not only we all thought everyone else was cheating, which made us feel like we needed to cheat. And in fact, there was like, I think one of the first few points, it was during prelims, that one of the first few games was between, I think, A-Team and Master Blasters. I'm not sure who Master Blasters was playing. And actually, maybe it was Team Fox, not Master Blasters. But Team Fox, if I remember right, lost 5 people off the break. Literally 5 people. That was the only time in that tournament where that ever happened. And it was never happened prior, never happened after at all. Because what people realized was that the most honest team at this event was going to lose. If you were playing the game honestly, which I get, nobody does, and nobody does to an extent in Woodsball, but people are going to take that to an extreme. If even when you get caught, there are literally no consequences. And there was one instance where we got a gross major. We were one of the only teams to ever get a gross major in the tournament, and I don't even think it was for cheating. I think it was for I think Will like screamed or something. I can't remember. Brandon, maybe you can tell me. But like, we got a gross major for something that was really stupid, and I got pulled on that point, and it was just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? So anyway, it was a disaster. The field was fun to play, but people were cheating left and right. So we started to ask ourselves, is it even worth it to create game plans where you can shoot people off the break if it doesn't even matter if you do that? Literally, your only chance of killing somebody is if you not only shoot them in the face or on the hopper, but it's also if the ref is looking at them when that happens, because otherwise nobody's going out. When this middle play, nothing, nobody's going out for that. The only other alternative is to run people down. And so towards the end of prelims and the start of Sunday, or start of the tournament, people started to just run each other down through the middle, because it was like, it doesn't matter if you get shot at this center rolly thing. If you get shot right after you get out of it, no ref can see it, and so they're just going to keep running through and trade out your guy in the middle. That's how it's going to go. And this is a huge gap. This is a massive gap to run. So it's like, why do we have no center refs? Why do we have no refs laying down in the middle looking for that? And there were several times where like people would be shooting from these rollies over here on the Dorito side and shooting the guys in the middle, and you could see it splatter. You could see it. They would even check it on their gun, and then they just keep playing. They'd like grab their loader weird or whatever, and then they keep playing. It's like, guys, are you kidding me? Like, everybody on the sideline can see it. How come you guys can't see it? So anyway, classic, you play round robin brackets. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, well that makes sense. That's a shame, even knowing that it happens. Did y'all play the Philippines? Worked really hard on some headbands for them. Hope they got them. No, we didn't play them, I don't believe. But I do remember hearing the name. But I don't think we ended up playing them. To be honest, like I didn't even hear the other team's names. I know we played Master Blasters. We played Homegrown. We played Paintball for Puzzle, something Paintball Puzzle. I can't remember. It was like something paintballpuzzle.com. They were the last guys that we played. And then again, we were supposed to play Ottoman Aces. We played I think we played All Americans. We played Ground Zero Red. And those are the, well, it doesn't matter. Ground Zero Red, and then we played somebody else. The Philippines. Oh, were they the guys that were wearing the weapons jerseys, Brandon? Because those guys were really cool. They were super nice. And the thing is, like, everybody was nice. Like, there really wasn't a lot of beef between teams. There was a couple instances where it kind of got crazy, but like people were generally pretty chill, and we all understood that like people were just not going to get called out on hits. And so we all kind of like had to play the game in order to even have a shot at winning the tournament. But anyway, so when it came to Sunday, I can't remember the order of how things went. I'm pretty sure we lost the first Hyperball game. We stalemated the second, and we won the third. And what's funny about that second game is that game that we stalemated was the one where I had set my timer to the 12-minute mark, and it ended in 10 minutes. And I was like, well, I mean, I'll take it. Like, I'd rather have a stalemate than a loss, but like, that seems a little funny. And then the first game that we played, I won't say who it was, but that was the team that we shot the crap out of, the middle guy, and he just did not leave. I also had gun issues. Shortly after the point started, I literally bursted an O-ring in my gun, so I wasn't really able to do much. That was a team that had my gun been working and we didn't get a random gross major. I think we would have won that point. Even if the middle guy didn't go out, I think we could have won that point. I was gun battling a guy that I just couldn't shoot. Literally couldn't shoot. I think Ian, you might be that guy. And that's fine. I'm not faulting anybody for cheating as bad as they did. It was just really bad at a certain point. It was laughably bad. But the teams we played were good. They were better woods ball players than us. I think we have a really solid squad, but there were some people who like all they really do is woods ball, and that's great. We're speedballers, so, and we don't play woods ball very often. So we knew that the hyperball field was going to be our strongest field, but it ended up just not working out super great because we couldn't kill people, it seemed. So anyway, the tournament was fun. I think, the fact that we somehow made it to Sunday. I mean, we made it to Sunday because we got buys, right? People didn't show up, and we made it to Sunday for that reason. But overall, the tournament was fun. I wish that the reffing was way better. Had the reffing been a lot better, I think we would have had a much better chance at the tournament. I'll just say that. It isn't to say that everybody that we thought cheated did end up cheating, because we don't really claim very many people to cheat. Like, we're not that camp that's like, that guy's cheating, whatever, I shot him. And like, when you don't really, like, we practice enough that we know when we shoot somebody. But I think had the tournament, especially in the hyperball field, had they checked the middle more, because we had 10 guns rolling, and we have me, Brandon, Sage, and Christian that all placed high. I think Christian may be the only one that didn't play the no, he did. We, all four of us, have placed within the top 5 at paintball combines, and all of the ones that we've gone to for running and gunning. So like, we know how to run and gun. It's not that we're missing, even though those distances are greater. It's really not that we're missing. It's just that those hits are either bouncing or they're not sticking because people are sliding them off. It is what it is. I get that. So lest I be complaining about people cheating in woods ball, let me just say that I really like Jennifer. She was super nice to us. We really like the Montrester family. Tim was super, super nice to us. It's just a very sad thing to see a legacy being carried in this fashion. I don't know what differences there exist between the two people running the classic and the ICC, but those differences ought to be resolved so that this does not happen again, because this was an embarrassment to the ICC to only have 17, maybe 18 teams sign up for this legendary event, in my opinion, and it to be hosted at a location that does not suit that many teams was embarrassing. They need to either pay their refs better or to get new refs. Like this guy, I actually didn't mind this guy. I don't have any issues with him. I thought he was funny. But this guy literally at one point was doing handstands in the middle of a point. Like, it almost was like that dude bro that like in high school tries to show off with like their physical prowess. That's kind of what it felt like. This guy was literally doing handstands in between points, but at the end doing handstands during the point. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? What do you? And there was also another point where he literally steps out of bounds to grab a, like slowly, might I add, step out of bounds in the middle of a point and grab a drink out of a cooler and then do one of these. Well, the point is literally playing, and it's like, my guy, like you can't do that. Like you got to pay attention. You're an adult. You can wait to get a drink. Like just chill. So anyway, very inefficiently ran, very slow. Oh, that I heard hurt his hand really bad, from my understanding. So anyway, had a fun event. I would really like to play this hyperball field again. The hyperball field is a blast. Really, really fun. But it was hilarious. I wish you guys had seen it. It was so funny. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. I guess well, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'll wait to share more, but it was a good time. So I have no idea what the ICC will look like next year. No idea whatsoever. I hope that, like I said, the ICC and the Classic combine in some sort of way, because it would be much better for that to be the case. Oh, is this his run through? Let's see. Oh, the last thing I'll say is there was literally times where refs would call a player out. Oh geez. Refs would call a player out and they wouldn't actually pull them. They would say hit, and then the guy would actually argue with the ref like, I didn't get hit. I shot him before, whatever. And then they wouldn't pull the guy, or they would call him hit and he'd just keep running, and then they'd be like, oh, it's fine. And then he would call him hit. It was insane. You're playing the Classic? That sounds like I hit the like button. Or hit the like button, thanks. These are facts. Awesome. Okay, well, I think that's it. That's all I got to say about ICC. There's a lot of footage here, obviously. All of it's kind of lowish quality, so it's not really worth even watching. It's just little pixels and stuff. I might have to go through and find that point where we shot the guy in the middle like crazy, because that was pretty insane. But last team we played, we kind of steamrolled. I think we had like almost like 8 bodies alive. Oh, last thing is Sage was counting how many people he had shot, and Sage claims, and I believe him, to have shot 30 people this event, which is pretty insane. But okay, well, that's it for this portion of the stream. The next segment that we'll talk about is, I guess the next stream is going to be on the CPXL layout, with kind of a I mean, I want to do the Golden State Major layout, or Golden State Open rather. So we'll cover that probably after we talk about this layout, but this is a separate link. So just to reiterate, I separate my streams by videos and subjects. So that is the link. It is in the chat if you want to join me for the CPXL layout review, and then thereafter the Golden State Open. Be sure to click that link. If you guys watch this on the YouTube video, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. I'll probably do more for the story time segments of the stream, but I'm gonna try to transition it more to like podcast type stuff, where I'm not really doing anything with my video or whatever. I think it'd be fun to tell more paintball stories and not feel so much pressure to like present something on screen. So anyway, thanks guys so much for watching. I'll see you in just a minute for those who are going to tune in on the next one. Bye.